drop in, open. Practice this morning with this as though I'm not there. So you open, you look, you figure out which one next. After a night of dancing, being around lots of folks, great opportunity to just go around, clear the outside of the field. And when I do that, I then allow the field to expand out a little bit. Modulate, this is your field. It's like your body, you want to strengthen body, do this, you want to relax, same with the field. Just come back. It's like going back into the ocean, taking a bath. Just diving in. After you take a moment and go around outside, just look, see what's happening here. For me, I looked around, I didn't find anything now. Let's get back to how I found. If you find something that has come up in area, tension, area, injury, emotional situation, just simply welcome, say welcome. For me, I found a subtle rhythm, just the whole feel, the whole body just kind of going very subtly in. I'm just going to follow that rhythm for a moment. I'm just going to invite that rhythm. It helps a lot to really drop into that stillpoint. So if you're still having a little trouble with that, just kind of breathe in a little bit. Right at the top of the breath, just kind of hold it. Like you're holding the breath. Not super long. And then right as you're holding that, just relax there. And then hold right there. That right there is this place. Right in there, as I hold that space. Got a little pulse to it. To me, this coming right here gets to what's real faster than anything. All the other things are great. The outer things, the dancing, having fun, nice food, oceans, resort, all this stuff great. Yeah. At the end of every moment I have here, I try to come right back here, back to this central place, back to what's real. So we don't get confused about all the outer things. What they are, what we are. Confusion. Confusion right here. There is no confusion. So for me, right then, the sacred muscle, the base, started to go, that pulse, I didn't say it, I just opened to the pulse going where it goes. As that happened, whole group just kind of went in a little bit, out a little bit. If you hold that, if you do that same thing, where it goes in a little bit, you don't feel squeezed a little bit, the same muscles that you used to go to the bathroom. Squeeze in a little bit, out a little bit. And if you drop right at the top, you squeeze in, and then hold it right there. What you'll notice is that space right there is exactly like that space in between the breath when you hold the breath a little bit. It opens into this very subtle, delicate, yet powerful place. And as I drop into that, I kind of relax into it and say, just allow that to expand, flow. And as I do that, then it'd be like the thermometer starts to flow, starts to go up. Just fills in this space, then it goes out. The second chakra, plexus, and it starts to open, fill up. This is such an easy thing to do. And then up to the third one, you see my arms, I'm doing the same lotus kind of process. Up to the third one. And each one, for me, I feel a little pulse. That same pulse kind of goes in. The more you relax, the more you feel this pulse. And now as it goes back in, now in this one it goes out, and as it goes all the way out right there, it stops. Same as the space in between the breath, the same. Keeps filling. And it goes open, some saliva opens, you might place the tongue in the roof of the mouth, and it opens to the fourth. See, anywhere you go, any situation, in the body, outside of the body, any situation is an opportunity to drop into this essence, this fabric, this. No matter what challenge, no matter what situation, it's just an opportunity. And the heart one for me, no pulse, it's just open. It's just in that space. So some days you might find, well, gee, this appears in your reality, in your world, in your quantum field. Well, it's here to welcome. Welcome it. We bring it here. Some days you might go right here, into the heart and here. Well, gee, isn't that nice? This must be a vacation day. Just rest and swim in the ocean. As soon as I rest and swim here, suddenly go down to the sacral area again, the back of the sacral area. And that pulse kind of goes in, goes out, and it drops in. And up to the fifth. It goes to the fifth one, kind of rest there a moment, kind of almost seasoning, cooking a little bit. Nice and open, yet also seasoning a little bit. And then that too drops in. And up to the sixth chakra. welcome whatever's coming up. Some other program, some other wiring, welcome it. Some emotion. Don't just land if something comes up and it says, gee, you can't do this, or geez, what's happening here? Don't land on that. Welcome that to see what emotion is inside of that. That's the key. So often the short circuit is what people constantly focus on. The key is go deeper, see what's underneath it, and if something else comes up, we'll dig into that, see what's deeper. Here, again, just drop in, kind of cooking a little bit. As it's cooking, it's kind of seasoning, expanding. See, it goes from cooking, and then it softens a little bit to seasoning, and then it goes to opening. And the same up to the crown. For me, it opens right up into the entire quantum field, like a big lotus. Now I'm back to the whole field, and I can feel it in my hands and my feet. Just this kind of very subtle pulse, as if suddenly the water drop started to feel it was the entire ocean. You could feel both sides, the entire fabric of the ocean. And again, that whole field has been pulsing. Now drop the whole body, the whole field, drop the whole experience in between the pulse. And hold that. Don't hold too hard, don't hold too tight. And relax into that. Body, this is the body breathing its entire being. Every cell is breathing, absorbing oxygen and energy. Universal. Now see if this pulse goes anywhere else in your body. You take a moment and allow this pulse to naturally go. Maybe it goes to an organ or a gland or to the ambrosia. For me, it's going right up here to ambrosia, the sphenoid. Feel this whole internal. See where it goes. See how, not only where it goes, see how with your perception you can guide it. For me, it didn't necessarily entirely go up here. It kind of suddenly started to feel a little bliss up here. So I said, oh, let's go there. It was more like that. Rhythm and then drop it into that the Stillpoint. And maybe pick another area. The key is to practice guiding this. I'm doing it, guiding it. might feel it go right here to the front, to the pituitary gland, which is right in the front. For me, I went here and I felt this whole area kind of squeeze a little bit, and then relax. Now, I'm not doing it. This is the rhythm. The galaxy gently. It's almost as though the rhythm of the galaxy welcomes the things in its experience and then brings it through this range. And then right there drops it in neutrality to help open up an inflow of universal energy. And then from there, feel that rhythm, and then from there, drop it in. And from there, for me, went up to the pineal gland, which is more in the center. A little bit back into the center. Cranium. Pulse there, very gently goes in. For me, as soon as it goes in a little, it starts cooking. Feel it cooking because it's kind of like shh, 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 shh. And then out. And back in. And all the way in, just drop in right there. Turn side to side a little. From here, here, keeps almost opening and it kind of just cooks little seeds a little. And it kind of opens up. Here is where it goes to the heart, thymus. Again, the glands, these are the key points. It goes in, goes out. Opens. And to me, it goes right down to the base again. Sacral area. Drops into that space. There's a gland at the base of the sacral. And flowing back up and opening back up. And then back into the cornfield. very often after I do that kind of process, whether it's on the glands one day, that was kind of more the ambrosial, pituitary, thymus, and the root. To me, those are the key glands that have a lot to do with opening up the nectar and ambrosia and the flower. Yet one day you might want to do the same process, yet working with the organs and pick some organs to work with. One day you might want to pick any situation in the body. Give me a show of hands. Who could feel that subtle rhythm pulsing? There's no situation, whatever challenge, find that rhythm and there's an automatic sense of and then you take the rhythm and go into the Stillpoint, and then there's an automatic sense of beyond that. Barb, please.
I was telling you last night how I was having trouble bringing words, and I still am, but this morning, just doing that, each chakra, I was the chakra. And so much in my past, in my life, I've been able to visualize or envision as I go through my processes. But this time, I was the chakra, or the chakra was me, whatever. We were all one. It was just a formless part of where I was in the cosmos at that moment. It was wonderful. And, you know, when I realized that, you know, everyone was sort of coming back, I really didn't want to, but I decided to join the room again. So it was a wonderful, wonderful time. And, yeah, just
Trust that process. When you find, you know, for me, I open up and I often act and share, like, well, there's an organ protocol and there's a this. So often for me, if I wasn't here today and I was doing that as the pineal gland, I would have disappeared for a while. I was disappearing and I kind of came out of that and then I went to some other, but so when you notice whether it's a chakra, and suddenly there's a opening that dissolves all and brings you, those are the moments that go, and you'll come back later. So that's a wonderful part.
yeah, my entire being right now is popping. It's awesome.
Good work.
Yeah.
Good work.
When as soon as I went into Stillpoint, for the first time, I felt the pulse on its own, without instigating it. That's interesting.
Today, was that today?
Yeah,
Just now?
just now.
Good.
Yeah, just now. And we had talked about it, and Diana said, you know, are you feeling it? And I said, no, I have to begin it, or start it. So yeah, I just got it. And then going to each chakra, like Mark said, it was almost like each one had a happy face.
That's good protocol.
Yeah.
That's good.
It was really good.
Good.
Yes.
Good. This rhythm is not, you know, this is talked about in so many places. In cranial work, when you go to learn cranial sacral work, the first day everyone wants to feel this rhythm, and it's very hard. Nobody feels it, and then finally the teacher says, "Relax, relax." You have to relax so much that you're barely not doing it anymore, and then suddenly you can feel this rhythm. Yogis, every shaman tradition talks about this breath of life, this river of life, and this is the suction of our galaxy. That spiral, like it's suction in and out. This is how we experience it here. And so if you're not feeling it, it's no problem. Just keep doing, expanding, dissolving, welcoming. It'll come. It'll happen. This is here. It's not. We didn't make this up. It's referred to in many places. Maybe we did it somehow. Yes.
This is the first time I've actually felt the pulsing. I've had the saliva flow every time, so I know it was there, but and it was much slower than I thought it would be. It was a slow pulse, but first time I've been totally aware of it.
Beautiful.
And that was really good because it's kind of frustrating to wonder why you feel the saliva and no pulsing. But
Yes.
anyway, it was actually a very slow movement.
Yes.
It was there.
It's fine. That can modulate a little bit. So the pulse, it can be like this. Occasionally it goes and it's kind of like this. And to me, those are the
really
nice
simple.
moments. You can modulate the pulse by how you embrace it. Or if you open your field, then it kind of goes. It's just like if you had a little river flow and you have some sand and you're working with it. Or if you put a lot of sand there, it slows it down. You open it up and it kind of flows. Or at the ocean, when the tides come in, you make a little thing and it fills it. And you form it. This is like forming. With our perception, this flow, and understanding this flow goes through different states of energy. So we flow it. Some moments we welcome it, and many moments on planet right now for a lot of people is to almost not poke holes, but to find places in the fabric where we can say, and those places will naturally pop up. Those are the places where people have challenges every day. The health challenges, the emotional challenges, the areas of being unclear. Those are the blessings because they are the pinprick that's saying, hey, open up, dig in here, and allow that neutral essence, that fabric. Most people spend so much energy keeping their lives in order that they miss and they avoid this subtle neutral essence in our society. We want to be the opposite. When there's something coming up or in someone's life, we don't want to tell them how to fix it and solve it. We want to say, welcome this. This is the opportunity. And as that opens up every day, we find something, welcome the things every day you find, because everything I find, my goal is find it, welcome it, until it opens me back into that essence.
I also wanted to say thank you for you and for being you.
Oh, thank you.
Certainly enjoyed it.
Thank you. Likewise. Likewise.
Well, I just want to say what an incredible evening I had. I felt so connected and, relaxed to be myself. And then what a sweet way to start the day right now. And I just feel really present, and I felt, I felt the pulsing, and I felt connected to Stillpoint, felt dropped in, quantum field, and I also, I had this is really basic, but I had this aha, oh my God, this could really, really help me heal some, places where I'm physically ill, as well as where I still have that victim, oh my God, I need somebody else to fix me. And I was suddenly, when we were I don't know where it happened, maybe up here somewhere, that I suddenly got that awareness, because I have a few little things that are hanging on, even though they are dissolving, and how you kind of, because I live with it every day, even though I couldn't walk a year and a half ago, I was kind of how come I can't, do 1,000 push-ups or something, it's funny how we are. But, so I just really feel happy and grateful, and it takes consistent, I can see, practice and effort to love being present. There's some part of us that's become addicted to checking out, but I thank you. This has been, and also I want to say that all the reasons I thought I came here are not the reasons I came here.
It took me a while to get back into this rhythm that we're in right now, because I think all the dancing and all the commotion, and this morning I had to send out some emails to the States because I'm trying to get things lined up for when I get back, and I was just oh, here we go, the stress is starting, So, I feel like I've gotten now to that place of Stillpoint, but it took me a few minutes because I had to quiet down my mind and forget about all that. And I'm a very organized person, so I'm the kind that writes everything down that I've got to do today, and so this has just been a really great experience for me to get some more practice so that I can learn to really integrate this into my life more and really begin to flow more naturally than I think I have been in my lifetime. As far as that goes, it's so it's a beautiful transformation that's taking place. I'm not there yet 100%, but it's taking place, so it's all good.
It's a process.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, good. Thank you both.
Thank you, Paul, Lily, and Essie. I'm so grateful you came to Seattle because it's all about receiving and giving and receiving and giving and being in the neutral state. I left it after the dancing, once it started, because I just needed to unwind. And I had brought index cards, and so on each index card, I listed what I needed to do because I love making lists. And so my brain, which had been the wild witch doctor a couple days ago, is now a little kind of boy playing and calm that he can be with the heart as well as the quantum field. But from the index cards, once I'm in the quantum field every day, I can pick what's most important. And so I don't have to worry about all the things I have to do.
Well, that's a great suggestion.
So this exercise, well, it's not an exercise, is it? It's more than quantize, it's just being, isn't it? It was so easy. All that you've brought us through these past few days and all the energy you've given us to take it into our life. I'm already taking it into my life with the phone calls I'm bringing home to my husband and my lists and just having the simple energy to be me now in neutral. And this brought me through the galaxy as well as with my family, as well as to my own organs. And I think what I'm doing here is just completely committing to me in the neutral state. And if I don't get there all the time, it's okay. It's just committing and loving everyone here and blessing everybody in abundance and joy. The fact that we've gathered this weekend has been precious.
I'm going to join the many people saying thank you so much to you and Lily and Essie as well. Your extraordinary generosity of spirit and everything is just still continues to blow me away. And just the last couple of days, it's made me but it's made me realize how totally not myself I am a lot of the time. There's been an expression called human doing, and that's what I've been human doing a lot more than I've been human doing. I feel a bit teary at the moment too, but it's a lot of the time I've always felt I don't know where I belong. I've never felt home anywhere. And I grew up in New York, and of course I've traveled, and I've now live in the UK, but it's not been home for me. And right now I feel I'm really home. And it's really where I feel most comfortable. This really is home base. And I don't want to go to Sainsbury's either. It's a shop in the UK called Home Base. But it's so beautiful, and I hope this will be my, I don't know, not hope, this is my default. And I don't want the other one to be my default, back into craziness. So thank you very, very much.
Good. And it is, the most important thing from here, from my perspective, the most important thing is the recognition that you have operated this So if that other thing becomes the default, that's okay. And you have a reference and you have tools to begin to say, okay, we're over here, and guess what? I want to go back over here, so here's some things, open up, do this, do this, do this. Oh yeah, here it is again. And then, from this event, I suggest, go home, bring this home. We have built huge abundance and equity in this state. So bring it home, plant it like a little sapling, and then when you do these processes, you're watering, you're cultivating, you're tending, you're caring, growing, and being. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you very much to you, to Lily, and the whole of the team for making this a very special time. April is taking me till now to unwind a bit. But just another week will do it probably. For what we've had, I thank you very much. It's been a lovely experience. And I look forward to the next time perhaps.
Yes. Well, that'll be soon. We're coming soon. And both Mary and Simeon, you just are two of the most special people. And it's all right if it takes you a little while to unwind. Simeon recently retired from a long-standing active service in the legal world in a very tough criminal kind of environment, doing amazing work. And so that has to unwind.
Yeah.
So you welcome that, you give that a week, you give it a month, you give it a year, you give it whatever it needs to unwind.
And it has taken a long time. I didn't realize how damaged I was.
Yes. So you look beautiful.
Paul and Lily and Nancy, thank you so much. I had such a calling to come to Los Cabos, and I couldn't determine why, but it's been a very reflective time for me. But I've had so many giggles. I mean, I don't know whether you're supposed to be laughing and giggling all the time.
Yes.
But the other night, you said, I'm not a CEO. I don't know what I am, and here it is. I want to confirm for you that you're not a CEO, because I'll tell you why. I've been sharing the laser with CEOs that are far too busy to do this thing, Carolee, that you're doing. And so I've been having them over to the house at 6 o'clock in the morning, all right, because at 6 o'clock in the morning they seem to have time. So I've had 3 experiences with CEOs, and it's just a hoot. But anyway, they come in at 6, and I've got 2 lasers, so that's good. I mean, I tell them just how convenient that is, because they've got 2 adrenals, so we can do the whole together. Very efficient. And so, it's crazy. So I teach them how to do this, okay? And here they are, these CEOs with no time, and they fall asleep. All right? So I cover them up. And I leave them there, and they've been sleeping for about 3 hours. I've had 3 experiences now, okay? So I have a really great CEO, Chesterfield, that puts them to sleep. And I leave them there, and then I go off and do whatever until they come to. And it's really a hoot. But then you said the other day, so you're not qualified because you haven't been on the Chesterfield yet? So there we are. But the other day you said, and then you were too late with this message for me, because you said, slow down, slow down, slow down. Well, about 6 days before I came here, I was scooting along the highway, and I knew I had company because I had some whistles and lights were going behind me. So I pulled over, and this policeman came up, and I said, thank you so much for stopping me. And he looked at me, and I said, because you've just become a part of a research project that I'm doing. I reached over, and of course I had my laser with me all the time. So I turned my laser on. Okay, so my lights were flashing and his lights were flashing. We've got flashing lights all over the place, and I'm saying to him, now do you see, if I had had my laser on, I would have been more highly conscious, and I wouldn't have been 10 kilometers over the speed limit, for which you're going to need to write a ticket for me. But because I had the laser off, my consciousness was down, you see, so that's not good. So from now on, I'm going to make sure. He said, can I see that thing? And I said, yeah, here, but don't drop it. I said, be very careful, don't drop it. So I gave it to him, and he said, you know, you're going to have to teach me how to use this. And I said, I would love to. Here's my card. And if I could have your card, when I get back to Winnipeg, all right, we'll talk about this. And so I said to him, then, but you know how stressed out the police force is, so maybe I can really help you, all right? And so he said, and I said, so could, you know, give me my ticket, I'll do my honorable thing. And he said, lady, I'll never have an experience like you again today. So Paul, I have to say, I do want to thank you so much, because you are going to be such a help to the CEOs and the police force and whatever else. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
That was usually, you know, that laughter to me is so beautiful, and so welcome, and it's so you. It just comes through. Your words are like little structures that are contained with that joyous laughter. So thank you.
Well, here at our school, I really want to enjoy the trip.
Yes, good.
Thank you so much for the tip. Really good thing.
Yeah, that's it. You have to come up with a name for that protocol.
Right, transforming the police.
I guess we could call it the click it or ticket. Just click it out.
I should have been grateful, but I was focused on what I didn't have. And Donna reminded me this morning of gratitude and being grateful, being spelled Great, and all of a sudden it shifted. And all of a sudden it was just like, okay, I'm back. And I'm grateful for what I did receive. And what happened this morning through this exercise, I didn't, get through all of it. But I think there was a pulse there. I think I did start feeling that. And that was the rest of it is just, I'll get there sooner or later, but thank you so very much. And thank you to all of you being there with me on this journey.
Well, that is the key, okay? The pulse, like you can have the experience, and so there's so many different ways. I mean, this is not linear. This is not linear. Nothing to do with the experiences people are having here. A person could have great experiences here, go home, and a whole volley of things happen. Someone could be here and have very little experiences, and go home, and it suddenly starts to grow. You get that one little pulse, and that pulse is the thread that then opens up into the weave, that then opens up into the fabric, that then dissolves into the ocean. So any place here there's no good, there's no bad, there's no right, there's no wrong, there's no high, there's no low. So whatever you get. And at first, if you don't get anything, whatever you get, welcome that. And welcome that. That pulse is so significant. It's a pearl. It's perfect. So you keep at it, and as the process keeps going, you get more flexible so that you have a situation and contract back down. The key is getting back. This is not about getting to some place and then, hey, you're in nirvana and there's no problems here on planet Earth. There's a lot of problems here on planet Earth. This is about owning the flexibility to move through these different states. You bump into something, you have a rough day, that's okay. I have a lot of rough days. I have a lot of moments that aren't so easy. I welcome them, dissolve, and I find that moment every day for me. As long as I can find, I have some days where I pop in for a moment. In that moment, I dissolve, I collapse, I come back to the essence, and it dissolves everything that happened in that day and that week. So just build with where you are. You're so right. You're so right. Great. Great.